So our second example reads, apparently understanding grammar is not a requirement for a teaching degree anymore. All right, so we can already see, I'm going to change over to my highlighter, see if we can get that to work. We can already see here's our highlighted sentence modifier, which is the word apparently. Now we're calling him a simple sentence modifier because we're going to have more complex structures later, but right now this is just a simple single word, a little adverb, apparently. Once again, it's an attitude where obviously, apparently, this whole thing must be true. So you kind of hear that attitude. And regardless of where I would put that in a sentence, the comma would still travel with it. So what I have left over then, if I'm going to change my color here back to my favorite orange, I have a basic sentence which says understanding grammar is not a requirement. So my subject is not simply grammar, but understanding grammar. Here's my verb is, and then here's my predicate nominative requirement. So I'm going to build it maybe down here, maybe somewhere in the middle of that white space that you have, because I know my subject is going to be up on a tree. That's kind of a wavy tree, but you have no idea what I'm working with to get this to show up on my screen here. So here is understanding. I can tell you my handwriting is really getting better as I get older. Should have seen it when I was younger. Here's understanding direct. It's not a good straight line at all. Can we get rid of that? Yoink. All right, let's try this again. Understanding. There you go. Grammar, my direct object. It's so wavy. I thought like I was like an earthquake or something. So understanding grammar is my subject, and then here's my main verb all the way down here is, and then requirement. And then we'd say it's a requirement. The word not is an adverb, which is always naturally underneath that verb. So here's not a requirement. It's a requirement for direct object preposition is degree. So here's degree. A degree. And then I come across the word teaching. Gosh, this is hard for me to grasp sometimes. I know right now teaching seems to be an adjective. It's a teaching degree. So therefore, I think you can treat this very naturally as a participle. And so I'm going to do that because I think it's the easiest solution to all this. And some people would say, well, isn't it also kind of a noun? Like, aren't you saying like a math degree or an English degree? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's one of those things. So it could be a noun. So you could say, well, couldn't I treat it like a noun and make it look like a gerund? And you could do that as well. It's so many things, Jeff. And that's the neat thing is we're at a point now where we can talk intelligently about this. I mean, my goodness, when we first started our time together, we would not even have an idea like that would be something that we should even talk about. But now we're at a point where we can say, Mr. Marsh, I think it's a participle because it's descriptive and therefore it's an adjective. As someone else might say, but it's also kind of a noun. So shouldn't we make that look like a gerund? But it's a gerund serving as an adjective, serving as a noun and or whatnot. And you're like, yeah, great. I love it. So, or maybe I'm the only one who gets excited about this. I have no idea. Anyway, I probably am. None of you are even watching this video. Anyway, so here is this word apparently. Now, once again, it's a sentence modifier, so it's not going to connect to any single word. I'm not going to connect it to this verb, which I would have done a long time ago when we were learning, basic grammar, because I would have said, look, this is not right, but we'll just simply put it here because that's the best we have. Like, no, we can now do something different with it. So now we know it's actually modifying the whole sentence. So I'm going to float it. Here's something else you're allowed to do. Because apparently is an adverb, you can make him look like an adverb. I'm okay if you want to slant him. You don't have to, and traditional grammar books wouldn't slant him, but I'm not always in favor of being traditional. And so if you want to like slant it because look, it's an adverb. So let's make him look like an adverb. Adverb slants, so we could slant him. I don't want to connect him to anything. And so he just kind of floats there. Some people would say that's really weird. And so if you hate that and you want to go with the traditional and you want to be traditional, I'll put you up here and you can do traditional and just simply draw him like that. Both those are possibilities. All right, this is demo number 2. We're going to get ready to take a look at another possibility in terms of simple sentence modifiers.